I'm sitting here watching Game of Thrones season 3, episode 5, and Jamie is sitting there like the Meister, the guy that's fixing his arm. This is some spoilers. He lost his arm, so he's like, "Yo, bro, you're gonna need milk of the poppy, and then I'm gonna be able to do what I need to do." And he's like, "No, I'm not gonna take the milk of the poppy." And it just got me thinking, like, everybody is so righteous in their journey when they're like, "Yo, bro, I'm not gonna take any drugs. Like, I'm not gonna do any drugs. Like, I'm not gonna try them. I'm not going to entertain them. I'm not even going to look at them. I'm gonna act like they're not here. The only drugs I'll take are the ones that my doctor gives me, and I'm not going to take any other drugs." You know what I mean? And I'm sitting here like, okay, okay, big dog. Like, I don't understand why people are so afraid of drugs. Like, there is things that happen, okay? We understand that, hey, maybe when you do drugs, you might lose your mind or you might lose your family. You might become so numb to the world that you just start doing crazy things. But it's kind of like, okay, if I'm going to clean up your arm, you have a stump as an arm, and I'm going to clean that up for you. Why won't you take drugs to help you out? I'm blending like two different ideas together here. I know I'm kind of not making sense, but like, I kind of see it as when you go through life, you are in pain more than half the time. Like, you don't know exactly what is going on because you're in so much pain that people are just like dragging you through, and they're just like, do this, do that, do this, do that, and you're just blindly listening to them. You know what I mean? And what does drugs kind of help you do? It kind of helps you think out these things. Like, you're sitting there like, okay, if I don't want to go to work, I'm going to keep going to work even though I don't like it because I have to pay my bills. And then versus when you take drugs, you'll be like, I don't want to work, so I'm not going to work at this company. I'm going to try to, I don't know, start my own business. Like, that's typically what drugs do. And you're going to kind of see this theme in my videos and stuff like that, because I'm going to start getting a little bit more bolder with what I say. Um, that drugs opens your mind to different things. All right. So I was also reading or watching this video, and they were talking about the Rockefeller family and how they started the whole pharmaceutical company thing, where they use unnatural methods for making medication. Not unnatural methods, but the medication is unnatural. It's made out of labs instead of organic stuff. Like, when you go online, like, you'll see these hippie people when they talk about the types of stuff that they make. Like, they talk about nature made Adderall. So there's regular Adderall, and then there's nature made Adderall, where it's like there's crotos or something like that, and then there's different plants inside, and they're like mushrooms, and this mixture makes it is similar to Adderall. It gives you that energy that you need. It helps align your chakras and whatnot. You know what I mean? And then there's the unnatural Adderall, which makes you really high and jumpy and stuff like that. So there is natural stuff and there's unnatural stuff. And we have been shunning the natural stuff. Like, when you think about the medication that you're taking, it's completely unnatural. It's made in a lab. So yeah, like, you think about that and you're just like, why does that happen? Why have we started doing that? Why do we shun away from natural stuff? The natural stuff can F you up. Like, mushrooms, concentrated mushrooms is such uh spike of, natural energy that even you can't even control it. Like when I was trying what's it called? Mushroom coffee. Like it was too much for me. Like I couldn't control myself. Like I was like totally jittery, and it was interacting with my medication in a weird way, and like I couldn't drink it anymore even in small amounts. Like I tried to cut it down to a very small amount, and I couldn't handle the mushroom coffee. It was too strong. There's regular coffee which I can handle, regular caffeine which I can handle, but I can't handle mushroom coffee. So like these natural products are very, very misunderstood, because you have unnatural medication that's, fixing all these problems with high blood pressure, diabetes, cholesterol. They're controlling this stuff, and we haven't done any research on natural things. The research on natural medication is much less funded than the unnatural ones, and that's how the Rockefellers have made it. Apparently, they were like, if at the time when they were doing the switch, whoever was going to school for natural medication, they started defunding them, and they started funding the unnatural medication because it was easier to make and you can mass produce it. You could do all that stuff. But yeah, I'm sitting here like questioning, like, why don't people want to take drugs? And I understand the logical reason to it. And what I'm trying to say is that this world is very, very illogical. Like, the things that they tell you is right and wrong is the other way around. All right. It's not really what's right. Like, when they tell you, oh, go to school and then go to college and then find yourself a career that you can work in, and that will be the rest of your life. After you turn 21 years old, you'll be doing the same thing over and over again. And, they tell you this, and it is completely 100% wrong. Like, they tell you work for financial freedom, and it's like, maybe you don't even want financial freedom. Financial freedom is not real. You should be looking for happiness instead of financial freedom. And when that starts to click for people, things start to change. So, you know, like, what I suggest is, hey man, if you want to try weed, definitely give it a try. Um, for me, it was like I gave it a try when I was like 16, 17 years old. And my ex-girlfriend told me that I was going crazy on it. And I was like, nah, I'm not going crazy on it. And I started gradually smoking more and more as I got older. Now, before, when I was 16, 17, like I would take tea breaks. Like I would smoke for a little bit and then I wouldn't smoke for a while. But I noticed the difference in my life, where it's just like it's not as colorful and it's not as fun. And that's what was going to screw me over, because we are taught in life not to be happy. We're taught, you know, to just do everything that we're told to do and not think about it. You know what I mean? Like when they tell you to go to college, when they're like, oh, we gave you 4 years to think about it, that's what high school is for. Bro, nobody was thinking about college. Nobody was thinking about college. Unless you were like, okay, this is what we're going to do. 1 year, you're going to be a freshman. And then the second year, we're going to give you college course classes so you can think about it. The only way you can think about stuff is if you do it. You know what I mean? So that's what drugs does. When people are like, I'm never going to touch drugs, I'm never going to do it, they don't understand the life changing opportunities that it has. And for you to be like, I'm never going to touch stuff, I'm never going to give it a chance, it just shows the level of evolution that you're at. Like, I think that people that smoke weed are evolved people. Like, they definitely are evolved people. And yes, we have a mental health crisis where it's like, okay, the stuff that we're doing now is a little strong. So that's why I would suggest to people, I'll be like, oh, if you smoke weed, definitely you don't have to take a tea break. But I'm telling you, like every other week of smoking weed, you should definitely smoke some CBD and see how CBD affects you. Because when you need to stop smoking, CBD can be an alternative. You know what I mean? And they say that CBD is what really helps with a lot of the medical stuff. Like THC is for hallucinations, and it's to help you, it's to help you, it's just to help you. I'm not sure exactly how it's going to help you, but it does help you. It has some medical stuff to it where it does help you out. But like CBD, I know there's a lot of benefits from CBD, and um from experience, I can tell you that CBD does help tremendously. Like, even if you were to take, if you don't want to take THC, try CBD isolate. Isolate means that they took out all THC, because there's full spectrum and then there's isolate. Full spectrum has about like 0.003% of cannabis, of THC in it. It does make a difference. Like, as a person that's very sensitive to different types of drugs, it makes a difference. Like, I can't take full spectrum CBD. I probably can take isolate. I've never tried it though. I don't think I can try it. I don't have the opportunity to do that, which is why I want to create more content, because I have so many ideas that I want to go through, and these ideas require funding. So it's like, yo, bro, I want to try to find better medication for people with mental health, but it's more selfish than that. It's more like I want to find the right medication that I can use. I know this is a far off dream. Like, I'm probably never going to be able to do this because I don't want to hire a person to do this stuff for me. But if I become successful enough where they're just like, yo, Abram, we want to help you find a different type of medication. Now, my sisters have guardianship over me, so they won't allow me to do any tests or anything like that, because they're going to be like, yo, you're going to go crazy one day and nobody's going to be able to help you. Like, the the thing that I need to do, I would need to be in a facility that is very much controlled and can help me out, because being in the real world and trying out different medication is kind of crazy. There's medication that works, so I can start using. I'm on the second gen medications. The second generation medication is apparently way better than the first generation medication. They're kind of like phasing it out. You know what I mean? Like olanzapine, Zyprexa, those medications are generation second gen. And then you have first generation. I'm not sure what they're called, but there's a lot more side effects with the first generation than the second generation. But my family is very afraid to those changes, so it will never happen. So I'm looking at a life where it's just like, I don't think that there will be much of a change in my life because of how my family thinks and how the medical world thinks. Like, if my sister wasn't my guardian, I would be able to my psychiatrist, he definitely would be open to like trying different types of medication. He would be like, "Yeah, we can try different types of medication." Be, and people don't understand like I completely understand why my family is concerned, but they don't realize how much they hinder the process. You know what I mean? Like, should you be in control of me personally? I'm not incapacitated. And I can go to the court and talk to the court and be like, look, listen, you guys said that I was incapacitated when you checked up on me. I was not on my medication, so I looked incapacitated because if I'm not on medication, like I can't process life. Like life is not real to me. You know what I mean? It's like I'm playing a video game and there's different levels to everything. Like each day is a new level, and then in within 6 months I go completely crazy and I start doing things that are really scary and stuff like that. But other than that, like when people say they're like, yo, I'm not gonna try drugs, I think that for us human beings, personally I think that there are different like types of aliens and different types of human species. Like we need to break it down into more concentrated categories. Like we have to start thinking a little bit outside the box. You know, there are people that smoke weed. Okay, that's a type of human being. There's people that work 9 to 5. That's a different type of human being. There are CEOs and entrepreneurs. Those are a different type of human being. Like the way our mind works, I think that's where we need to start categorizing ourselves. That we've already started doing that. You know what I mean? Like we go to school and everybody gets separated into their own little sections. You know, you're in accelerated, you're in ESL, you're in regular reading. You know what I mean? Like we already do it, but we don't think about it. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, that is a artist. They think a little bit differently than everybody else. Like they think about rhymes and stuff like that, and they can make it into music. Like that is a type of human being, and we need to section these people off because it would make sense after we do that, because like all we have right now is that we're all human beings and we're trying to compare ourselves to each other, and we're trying to find similarities when there are more differences. You know what I mean? So yeah, bro. When he was like, "No, I don't want the milk of the poppy," I was like, "Yo, bro, what is good with you? Like, why do people do that to themselves?" And yes, like I was saying, like, bro, I have such a problem with how we treat drugs, like psychedelics in general. I hate the way that we treat psychedelics. We treat them like they are the worst things in the world. And you gotta start digging a little bit deeper, bro. You've got to start digging a little bit deeper. You gotta start thinking about it. You know what I mean? Like, oh, why don't you want me to explore this part of my mind? You know what I mean? It's like scientists have proven that uh mushrooms opens a whole new type of world in your mind. But what people don't understand is that mushrooms, when you use mushrooms, it interacts with your medication. And that is the main reason why they are so illegal. Because and then like I was just talking about with the Rockefellers, they move towards unnatural types of medication. So when unnatural meets natural, the effects are all over the place. You don't know how it's going to affect the person. Now you can argue and be like, yo, bro, but the natural medication, you don't know how it affects people too. Like if people smoke weed, some people are good, some people get mental illness. Like you can't really you can't really say that. Excuse me. You know, all I have to say to that argument is like, for example, like schizophrenia, there is no known cause. Uh but they know that if you were to smoke cannabis, it makes it a little bit worse. But from my own research, I've tried CBD while off my medication and it stabilized me. Now, this is probably something that I can't really say or can't really talk about, but yeah, bro, like people don't know that, yo, this stuff actually helps with mental illness. But that's nowhere to be found. Like you, if you were listening to this, you would be like, yo, nobody talks about that. Like there's no papers on uh cannabis helping out with mental health. Like they're always talking about, oh, it's just for pain and it helps people move on if they have a type of disease that's going to kill them in a year or so. Like that's the only way this medication works. And it's like, no, bro, like I've tried it. I've literally tried it. Um, I did it illegally and I got into a lot of trouble for it. I got into big trouble for it. But edibles was working well with my schizophrenia. So uh was I hearing voices or anything like that? Like the voices got a little bit stronger, but I was more able to navigate through them. So that's what I think natural medication would do to a person that has schizophrenia. It's like, what type of effects would you expect from natural medication with a schizophrenic? It's like the schizophrenic will probably hear voices, but they won't be bad voices. They'll be, and they'll be able to navigate through these voices a little bit better. But the natural medication will allow these voices to come out. And then it would also stop the voices eventually. Like it's medication. So like with olanzapine, with Zyprexa, what it does for the first month or two, dude, you hear voices, you get suicidal thoughts, like it's really bad, like for the first 2 months. But for CBD and cannabis, it only lasts for about like a week. You would hear voices for like a week, and then it will go away. Then it will come back for like a week. Like it wasn't the best. Like it's interesting because like you don't hear this from anybody. Like you can't get this from anywhere else. So like there was two things that I did while self-medicating with edibles for schizophrenia. One, I threw away all of my clothing. I redid my wardrobe. So I started like hearing voices from my comforter. And I was like, this comforter is not mine. It's my parents. They bought it for me. I need to have my own stuff. So all of my clothes, I felt like voices were like coming off them because that's how voices work. Voices come from outside of your head. Like people don't understand that. People think that, oh, I have an inner monologue, so do I hear voices too? It's like, no, you don't hear voices. When you hear voices, you'll know that you're hearing voices. At the time, you'll be like, no, this is natural. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. But like, for you to be hearing voices and it makes you react in a crazy way. So I was hearing voices from my clothes and I was like, I made a decision. I was like, you know what? I know why I'm hearing voices from my clothes. It's because they aren't mine. So I got rid of all the clothes. The voices went away. really crazy. So the second occurrence that I had with schizophrenia while self-medicating was that I thought that I should buy a new car. And yes, the story gets very scary. I almost stole a car. Almost. Very close to, really almost did it. And it was a blue Hyundai Sonata. Shout out to whoever makes Hyundais. Is it Koreans or Japan? One of those countries. If I ever get a car, I want it to be a Hyundai because I almost stole one, and now you hold a special place in my heart. Like it didn't happen, like because I went there, I got the car. They were like $500 down, and you get the car. And I was like, all right, cool, $500 down. And they were like, we're gonna have to check your bank statements and whatnot to see if you can pay for the car. They checked my bank statements. I was able to afford the car, but that was because I was working at Amazon and Instacart at the same time. I was working for both of them at the same time, and the problem was that it showed that I was getting like double the amount of money that I was really getting, and they were like, oh, "Okay, you can afford it." I showed them my bank statements. They're like, "Okay, you can afford it." But then I quit Amazon, that same week, so I wasn't getting double the income. So I kind of knew this, but I was just like, if I can get this car, I'm going to get this car. And if I can't, then I'm not going to get it. If they let me drive off the lot with the car, I don't know how I'm going to continue paying for it because I'm having a lot of trouble. Like I can't work as much. Working is getting harder. Working is getting harder. So the natural medication makes you think more. It makes you think more about your situation. Now, without that, I wouldn't be at the place that I am today because with Zyprexa, the problem was um no, in Vega, sorry. I keep saying Zyprexa. I mean in Vega. With Invega, when I was on it for the first time when they gave me the shot, I was working, everything was overtime, everything was depressing. Like it was so bad. Like I was in a really bad mind state. And I was just like, I can't do this anymore. I can't be in this type of mind state because how can a person live like this? So unhappy, doing twice the amount of work that they're supposed to be doing. Like I was going to college, I was working at Amazon part time. Um, I wasn't dealing with like voices or anything, but I was dealing with depression. And I was just like, I couldn't be friends with May naturally. Like, it was just really bad. Like, it was just really bad. But the way that I've grown after getting off that medication and then using cannabis as a coping mechanism, it was 100% different. Like, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. You know what I mean? Without cannabis. And people will be like, no, cannabis is a bad thing. It's a really bad thing. It helped change my mindset about life. It really did. It really made me have a more positive outlook on life than I did with the medication. The medication makes you so sad and depressed. And that's why I'm like, yo, bro, when people are like, yo, I don't want drugs, I'm not gonna take any. I see you as an alien. I see you as a scared little alien. One of those aliens that will always be obedient and do what they're told to do. Like you can count on them to suck the life out of life. You can count on them to always be on the right side and they'll always listen to what they're being told. I'm an alien that breaks rules. So, when you're dealing with me, one year might be flowers, the next year might be coal, then the next year might be diamonds. You know what I mean? Like you don't know what you're gonna get with those people. You know, you're gonna get a nice field of flowers one year, and then it's gonna be a nice field of flowers the next year, and a nice field of flowers the third year. It's just it's consistent. You know what you're going to get. It's not gonna change. You have nothing to worry about. But with me, it's completely different. It's like you don't know what you're gonna get. So yeah, I'm working on my writing right now. I'm gonna upload this stuff. I'm watching Game of Thrones, and Jamie Lannister completely blew me away. He was like, "No, I don't want milk a poppy, bro. Just do it. Just do it. Clean out my stump. Clean out my stump, and I'll just scream when it hurts." And I was like, "Bro, whoa, you're that scared of drugs, bro? You're that scared?" No, girls be doing it too, bro. Girls be like, "I don't want any drugs while I'm giving birth." And it's like, all right, bro. Like it's 2026 and you're still talking about you're still trying to act like you're in the 1900s, bro. That shit makes no sense. Like it's the future, guys. It's the future. You know, but when you talk about drugs, it's almost as bad as talking about the LG the gays. I'm not gonna go to the LGBTQ. That's how you say it, LGBTQ. I'm not gonna go through all that. But like when you talk about those people, that's how it feels. A gay person understands how a drug dealer feels. You know, we're at the same level. You know what I mean? Like the way they think of people, of gay people, it's similar to how they think of drug dealers. Drug dealers, they treat us a little bit harsher. We're treated harshly. Gay people are treated harshly too, but you know what I mean? Like in America, you're pretty much safe. But in America, for a drug dealer, you're only safe in like 5 states. For gay people, like you're pretty safe every in like 48 states. You know what I mean? Like I sympathize with gay people, but what I'm going to say is that drug dealers have it worse. We've been oppressed for a very long time. Nobody's even talking about us. Nobody's even talking about us. Like it's a silent war that we're fighting. The war on drugs started in 1950s, and Vice put out this video, and they were like, "Congratulations, drugs! You've won the war on drugs." Like it wins. It wins. And what do we still have to fight? We have to fight being on the street. We have to fight being put in jail. We have to fight for legalization. And you're probably saying like, but it's getting legalized, bro. The only thing that's legalized is shrooms and weed. Ketamine is being legalized, but like ketamine, I don't even think ketamine is natural. Like that's an idiotic drug. Only idiots think that. Like Elon Musk, bro, like you should definitely do psychedelic therapy, like mushrooms, something that's natural. Like stop falling into that trap of like taking unnatural stuff like acid. Acid, I've had the most interesting trips on and the most dangerous trips on. Like so bad, so bad. But yeah, yeah, yeah. After taking this medication, this unnatural medication, I've had to relearn life. I've had to relearn it because I've been very like I said when I was first taking it, I was so depressed, man. So depressed. Like it was really really bad. I couldn't do anything about it. But like I said, I've I've rewired my brain to think more positively, and that's really helping out. Um Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna end it there before I out myself because I'm working on a lot of projects right now, and I'm trying to get somewhere in life. I don't want to be here at this level. I don't want to be broke. I want to be successful, but in my own way. You know what I mean? But all right, peace out, guys. Hope you like and follow and yeah, subscribe, bro, because all I have is 45 subscribers on YouTube. I can do live content, but I'm a little hesitant on that. But other than that, bro, peace out, bro. Peace out, bro. Have a great day.